Welcome back to Limitless Mentality, where we discuss profound psychological truths to help you improve your life. Today, we're diving into one of the most misunderstood yet powerful transformations in human psychology. Why the most broken people often become the strongest. If you've ever wondered how someone can go through unimaginable pain and emerge more resilient, wiser, and even more compassionate, stick around, because this will forever change how you see pain, struggle, and your own story. Let's begin with a powerful truth. Brokenness doesn't destroy you. It reveals you. Let's start here. Rock bottom. The place where it feels like everything is falling apart. No support, no direction, no hope. It's terrifying, but also, paradoxically, it's the birthplace of strength. Here's why. When you hit rock bottom, you're stripped of the superficial. You're no longer performing for others or living in denial. You're forced to confront yourself, raw, unfiltered, and real. This is where transformation begins. Psychologically, this is known as a disintegration moment. Carl Jung talked about how breakdowns precede breakthroughs. He said, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain." At rock bottom, your old identity cracks, and in that cracking, you gain the opportunity to rebuild on your own terms. People who have never been broken often build their lives around external validation. But those who have been shattered have no choice but to rebuild something real. We've all heard of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, but few people talk about its lesser-known cousin, post-traumatic growth. This is when people experience life-altering positive change after trauma. Psychologists Richard Tedeschi and Lawrence Calhoun found that many trauma survivors report profound shifts, deeper relationships, greater personal strength, heightened appreciation for life, and a stronger sense of purpose. Why? Because suffering strips away the illusions. You begin to realize what truly matters. You develop emotional depth that can't be taught in books or classrooms. You become more intuitive, more compassionate, and more grounded. Here's the paradox. Pain, when faced head-on, doesn't break you. It reveals your hidden strength. You've probably heard the term emotional numbness, but that's not what happens to truly resilient people. Instead of going numb, they develop emotional calluses. Just like hands toughen with hard work, emotions toughen with struggle. But here's the key. This isn't about becoming cold or indifferent. It's about developing a kind of armor that still allows you to feel, but protects you from being shattered again. It's a balance. You stay open to life, but wiser in how you let things in. You stop wasting energy on things that don't serve you. You learn how to say no without guilt. And most importantly, you stop needing to be saved because you've already saved yourself. Here's something beautiful. The strongest people aren't just tough, they're kind. Why? Because they know what it feels like to be in the dark. And that experience breeds deep empathy. When you've been broken, you develop a radar for other people's pain. You can spot the fake smiles. You know when someone's silently screaming inside. You become the kind of person others gravitate toward. Not because you have all the answers, but because your presence says, "I've been there. You're not alone." This kind of strength can't be faked. It's earned. Resilience isn't just a personality trait. It's a skill. And the more you practice it, the stronger you get. Now, think about this. Who gets the most practice? The people who've been through the most. Broken people become experts at adaptation. They've had to rewire their lives, find new meaning, and keep going when others would have quit. That's mental toughness at its finest. Studies from the American Psychological Association show that resilience is highly linked to repeated exposure to challenge and the ability to find meaning through that challenge. The broken become strong because they've had more reps in the mental gym. Pain became their personal trainer. And this is where most people get it wrong. We assume that broken people are scattered, aimless, lost. But often, the opposite is true. Loss strips away the noise, the job, the status, the opinions of others. It all fades when you're sitting in the ashes. And in that silence, you start to hear something deeper, your true self. Broken people often emerge with laser-like clarity. They stop chasing shallow goals and don't care about impressing anyone. Their priorities sharpen, their vision clears, and their energy becomes focused like never before. This is why so many entrepreneurs, creators, and leaders have broken pasts. They were forced to find their mission in the mess. Let's talk about scars. Not the kind on your body, the kind on your soul. Most people hide them, but the strongest wear them like armor. There's a Japanese art called kintsugi, where broken pottery is repaired with gold. The cracks aren't hidden, they're highlighted. Why? Because the history of breaking becomes part of the beauty. That's how the strongest people see themselves. They don't pretend the pain never happened. They honor it. They use it. Their scars remind them, I've been through hell, and I'm still here. And that presence, that silent confidence, it can't be taught. It comes from knowing you survived something that tried to destroy you. Here's something powerful. People who've been broken usually know themselves better than most. Why? Because they've had conversations with themselves in the dark. They've questioned everything. They've screamed, cried, doubted, and still got back up. This internal journey builds self-trust. They don't rely on external praise to feel worthy. They've learned how to be their own anchor. When life gets chaotic, they don't panic. They listen. They've been there before. They know how to regulate their emotions, soothe their thoughts, and keep moving through the storm. Let's bring this all together. The strongest people don't just recover. They transcend. They take their pain and turn it into purpose. They become mentors, creators, teachers, artists, leaders. They channel what tried to break them into something that uplifts others. This is called alchemical transformation, turning psychological base metals into precious ones. And here's the truth. Your deepest wound might one day become your greatest contribution. That breakup, that betrayal, that loss, it might just be the fuel that lights the fire of your purpose. The world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs real people. People who've been broken and chose to become something more. At the end of the day, brokenness is not a weakness. It's a sacred initiation, and those who rise from it carry a kind of strength that the world desperately needs. So, which part of this message hit you the hardest? Have you gone through a time in your life that shaped your strength in unexpected ways? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. If you found this video helpful, subscribe for more eye-opening insights. Until next time, keep striving, keep growing, and stay limitless.